Jim Spencer was born today, and I'm not sending a gift.
Here we go.
Take a look at what's on screen right now. Take a look at it, because that is the PlayStation Showcase in a nutshell. Those are the games that they showed. Those are most of the games that they showed, that they spent a lot of time on, that they talked about, that they hyped for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation audience. And yes, folks, all of those games were third party, and all of those games are coming to Xbox, and Xbox rightly so capitalized on that after the show and put together that little picture that I started this video with. Let's get right to it. This is not the show that anybody was expecting, and anybody out there pretending that this show was somehow good or great is absolutely positively insane. PlayStation, Jim Ryan, everyone spent time hyping up this show, this showcase, and over an hour long. They talked about the future of gaming. There were all of these ridiculous stories about Jim Ryan saying he wanted to go scorched earth after the Microsoft Activision Blizzard King deal, and they wanted to make a statement. And then you had certain developers tweeting out things about Resistance or tweeting out things about Sunset Overdrive a day before this big showcase. And we got essentially, here are games coming to the PlayStation that are also coming to Xbox. Oh, and by the way, we're going to end it with Spider-Man 2. Now, here's Spider-Man 2. Looks absolutely incredible, but it doesn't look as incredible as I think most people expected it to be as a PlayStation 5 only game. Go back and look at Spider-Man Miles Morales running updated for the PlayStation 5, and then look at this. Yes, there's a little bit more detail. Yes, the world's probably a bit bigger. I haven't played it, but this was not the game that pushed me to the point of saying, wow, this is now next gen or this gen. We're still waiting for that game that screams we're in a new generation. And I don't think this showcase did that. Sony is absolutely taking advantage of the fact that they are so far in the lead this generation. We're hearing reports of 4-1 in some regions. They're taking advantage of that advantage and holding back content because they can. That is not what PlayStation is. That is not what PlayStation professes to be as someone who wants to lead the industry forward, create compelling content. That is not the way that they should be doing it. They sandbagged us with this show, and essentially they're saying, we've got stuff, we don't have to show it to you, we've got you in our pocket, it doesn't matter, Microsoft isn't doing anything, we don't care because we don't have to, we're not being pushed to show our hand, so we're going to stretch it out as long as we possibly can. And that is not the way to do it. This show was not exciting in the least. In the slightest way, it was not exciting. It did not feel like the show that PlayStation was advertising. It certainly didn't feel like the show that many developers were talking about going in. And yes, there are moments in the show where games looked really good. But again, I want to put it back up on the screen. The majority of those games are coming to Xbox. And this is a ball that Sony threw up into the air. It's a Hail Mary pass, and Microsoft caught it and put together this little picture to demonstrate just how sleight of hand this show really was. PlayStation cannot rely on third-party games. They can't showcase them just like Microsoft can't. And here's the opportunity that Microsoft has, because this ball was fumbled by Sony in this show. Microsoft show in June, Phil Spencer and the gang, they better pick up that ball and run it in for a touchdown, because this opportunity, these opportunities do not come around as often as you think, and this is one that is theirs for the taking. This is why you don't say things like, no matter what we do, even if we create great games, it won't help us in this console space. It won't help us outsell our nearest competitors. Sure, the third-party games are going to sell better on the PlayStation 5. Everyone is buying one over the Xbox Series consoles. However, if you create great games and you show them at a showcase after a fumble this showcase, if you show great games after this, that mindshare does begin to swing back in your favor. And I'm not talking about winning this generation or even half of next if Microsoft decides that they even want to be in a next generation with a piece of hardware, but minds can change. If you show an incredible looking Avowed with gameplay, an incredible looking Fable with some gameplay, an incredible looking Hellblade 2 with some gameplay, it will completely and totally change some minds when it comes to this show versus Microsoft and Xbox's show in June. Xbox still has some problems though, even though all of these games are coming to the Xbox, even though they put together that picture highlighting the fact that most of the games announced during the PlayStation Showcase are also coming to Xbox, third-party games just don't sell well on the Xbox. They've created this cult around Game Pass and no one wants to purchase a game unless they're renting it in Game Pass. So they still have that problem. And this is why I think PlayStation played it safe and sort of sandbagged us all with this show. They know that those third parties are going to come to PlayStation because people are going to purchase them for $60 or $70 on PlayStation. They know that Microsoft doesn't necessarily want any of those games unless there's a deal for them to go into Game Pass. They know all of this. They know they have a 4-to-1 lead in some places, a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1 in others, and we're getting this sort of expectations are high, but delivery is low. We're starting to see the same sort of things happen when it comes to PlayStation, the way they deliver things and speak to their fans, and what Microsoft and Xbox have been doing for quite some time. I was originally sitting at a B for this show, but the more I think about it, the more I think about what was said, the expectation, and the fact that I know that they are holding things back just because they can, this show at best is a C, and I firmly believe this is an opportunity now for Microsoft and Xbox in June to blow us out of the water. Will they do it? I have zero faith in Phil Spencer, Aaron Greenberg, Xbox in general at this point. However, you cannot not see this gift that is sitting there for you. This is a layup. All you've got to do is tip that ball in. How they are not seeing this, I don't know. I have to believe that they are. I have to believe that they're thinking about it, and I've got to believe that somebody there is going to get the content that they have for this show and make sure that it looks absolutely incredible. If not, then we're right back to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation and Sony resting on their laurels and holding their cards close to their chest as long as they possibly can throughout this generation. Yes, great games are going to come, but the excitement level is just not going to be there the way it used to be, and it shouldn't be like that because your competitor isn't pushing you. Microsoft has a chance, Xbox has a chance. Phil Spencer talking about great games won't help them. One of the worst things he could have said before this show. There's an opportunity, they've got to take it. If not, once again, they've got no one to blame but themselves. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about this show. Let me know what you scored it. Let me know if you were excited about what was shown or you were disappointed. The like button, subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next video.